Okay, friends, welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. D. Oh boy, this is a good one today. I say everyone's special, but this one is double special because they're both pretty special. Well, they're probably going to say that about me. But I have my sisters with me. My sister Cheri, she'll introduce herself. My sister Tina. If you followed me at all, you know I'm the youngest of four. Our brother Bob, maybe he'll watch this, is down in Prescott, Washington. He'll get a kick out of this,
He's
I'm
in
sure.
Arizona.
What did I say? Washington?
You did.
And you know what's funny is there is a Prescott, Washington.
Oh.
But they probably don't say it Prescott. They probably say Prescott, Washington. Yeah. Anyway, okay, thank you for catching that. Yeah. See, my sisters are here. They're not going to let me get away with anything. This is going to be great. So yeah, welcome. So let's do this. You guys can decide who wants to introduce themselves first, understanding that, this will be recorded and out on my podcast. For someone who doesn't know you, who are you personally, professionally? Who wants to start? Okay, Tina.
All right. I am the second oldest of four. And as you all know, our upbringing was a little rough, but I think that did shape me into being a very different type of person because I didn't want to go down the same path. I love my family. I moved away to Ohio over 30 years ago.
We say you escaped.
And I'm literally the only one that has ever moved away and stayed away.
Oh, you stayed away.
Everybody always comes back.
Yeah.
I love dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I love reading. I love, actually, the older I get, spending more time with myself. Getting to know myself, which I feel in my younger years I really didn't get to do that. I was so busy trying to cope.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you just retired.
I did.
Yeah.
Partial retirement.
But you're still working.
2 days a week.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
That's
love it.
right.
I love it.
You are. And you've been doing more traveling and cool.
Yeah.
So, husband, 2 kids. Tell us about them.
Okay. Travis
3
and
kids,
I
sorry.
have been married going on 31 years. I have 3 kids. I have a son that's 44 from a previous marriage, and I have 2 daughters. My son is Robert. My oldest daughter is Lydia. She's 29, and my youngest daughter is Abby. She is 27.
Which we just learned in this family visit that when she was mad at them, she would go to call their name and call them Labby. Lydia and Abby. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Cheri, who are you?
I don't know. I'm Cheri. I am a mother of 6 kids and 4 stepchildren. Mm-hmm. A widow of 5 years. Mm-hmm. My husband and I raised our 10 kids. We have 15 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild. Wow. I retired as a cop over 7 years ago after 21 years. Mm-hmm. But life changed, so I'm back to working again after my husband decided to leave. Anyway,
yeah.
Other than that, I mean, hobbies, I don't have much. My hobbies is my family. I do like riding my bike.
Yeah.
I like my dogs.
Dogs?
Breed Cavaliers, so that's like a second.
Yeah. Well, we say with my sister Cheri, who, you both lived pretty amazing lives to this point, and I admire you both. I know we always give each other a lot of crap, but we say Cheri, when she was told, so she always said when she was younger she wanted to have a lot of kids. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. And so she had 6, and the
She
doctor
literally wanted me to have one for her after.
because the doctor said you can't have any more kids. That's literally what they said. Otherwise, so now she has grandkids and the dogs. We everyone who meets you when you have the dogs with you is like, oh my God, look at those cute dogs. So cool. Very good. Let me see any follow-up questions to that. No, we'll get into the questions. So we have some questions here. Who wants to take the first one? I'll read it to you since you forgot your glasses, old lady. Glasses. Okay. And as I'm looking at now, for those of you that follow me, maybe you've read my book or the story and all that. So, you know that our mom had, I call them dads of the week. So Cheri and I have the same biological father. Tina, we're not sure. we learned later in Mom's life that Kenny Rogers was his name. That's what Mom said. So, but Tina looks the most like Mom. Me and Cheri, obviously, because we have the same dad, but I see Mom in both of you. But that's Mom, right? I'm looking at Mom. So she's probably going to tell us, get out of here. Go do something. I need to clean. That's what I'm waiting for her to say.
Or, no, I'm not eating that.
Yeah, like at dinner. That was funny. So the first one, maybe if you want to expand on it, but you kind of gave a little bit, is tell me a little about your life and what shaped who you are today. Because we're all kind of have had our own walks in life, but, you know, given our crazy childhood and life that we lived, and maybe your life to this point, but what has shaped who you are today when you hear that?
So what shaped me today? There's a lot of things in our past that shaped me, but there was one pivotal point that made me pivot and change.
Oh.
And that was when our older brother Bob said, "What are you going to do? Get married as much as Mom does?"
Really?
Because I've been married. This is my third marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeking. All my marriages were older men. They were people that weren't good for me. So when he said that, I was like,
That
whoa.
clicked for you.
Whoa.
Who was the second?
I married
That's
Military guy.
Gerda. That's what brought me to Ohio.
that's right. How long was that one?
4.
4 years.
I told Trav if he makes it past 4 years, he's good. That was usually my limit.
Yeah. So it was a conversation with our brother.
Yeah.
Who I don't know your guys' view. You know, Bob will always be my hero. Like there was a lot of stuff there, but you know he was kind of forced into a parent role. But so for you, it was that conversation, which he had his own struggles with marriage, but him saying that.
Yes.
Okay.
It just like it woke me up like, oh, you are doing the same thing. Mom.
Repeating what Mom did.
You're searching for something instead of fixing what is making you search for that, I guess. But I really never went to any kind of counseling or any kind of therapy, which I probably should, because I'm sure I still have issues. And please don't ask my husband.
We know she has issues.
But, you know,
Yeah.
so that was, I think the moving away was my therapy, which I regret it now, but I'm so thankful for the family I have. Because I missed my family back here. I missed so many things. I mean, your kids growing up, your kid growing up. You know, I didn't have all that because I also refused to come back. I was like, oh, no, I'm not going back there. I'm not going back.
Interesting.
You know, until I was
Yeah,
older.
I never, you know, you moved, we kind of jokingly say you escaped, but I always have viewed it as good for you. You know, that you did, and like you've been married 31 years, and we love Travis, even though he cheated on you. That's a joke. That was a practical joke one year, but I never viewed it as bad. I never was like, oh man, Tina. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But you know,
We're kind of glad.
Your biggest regrets in life are the things you don't get to do or you don't do.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one
So
of
you
mine.
missed the fam.
Yeah. People talk about, oh yeah, when so and so was in school, I'm like,
I
wasn't there. I didn't know. You know. So.
Yeah, thanks. Cheri, what has shaped you?
I guess if you could say my earliest recollections that started to shape me away from the negative was being at Grandma Sonsotaby's. Every time I would go there would be peace.
She had that way.
It was
Yeah,
just
she
peace, and I was
Yeah.
used to it. So you go back home, and that's what I wanted in my life was peace. And then the second would be when Bob threw me in the closet and told me, "Give your heart to God. Lock me in the closet.
Oh,
You're
wow.
not coming out
Oh,
until you
wow.
give your heart to the
I could
Lord."
see him doing that too.
And so I prayed and prayed, and I felt peace.
Oh, wow.
So I was okay. That's what I want.
Yeah.
It didn't change me. I still had those internal set ideas about myself as not being worthy, low self-esteem, all those things. So those had to, over years, realize, like Tina said, why am I continuing to do this? When you can ask yourself that question, you can then make a change. Or when you can blame someone else,
Oh, yeah.
you know you're blaming, you can then make it. And I could make those changes. It took a while. But I could make those changes because I was asking myself those
But
questions.
you gotta just remember too. Grandma's house, yes, she made you feel peace. She was loving, caring. She gave you 100%. But she had.
Yeah,
know,
we
there
all
were-
remember that.
Yeah,
Grandpa sounds.
Grandpa wasn't the nicest.
He wasn't kind.
Oh, I know.
But, yeah.
Grandpa abused me
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I knew that. But
Yeah.
just being near Grandma.
Her, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, looking back years, I realized Grandma was abused too. But she had a genetic
still had.
component of trying to find
Kindness.
internal peace
Yeah.
through that struggle.
Yeah.
So
Like
Yeah.
I can remember going to their house, where it was. You know, it was one of the families we would visit from time to time, and it was always I liked going there. I remember Grandpa sounds to be he could be mean and he was a drunk and all that, but Grandma sounds to be was always exuding that kindness and wanting peace and
she protected.
yeah.
She literally wanted to protect you, and you didn't feel that at home.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
You had to protect yourself.
Good. So thank you for sharing that. Just thinking back for me, childhood, it was Johnny. Johnny was my, during the period he was in our lives. For me, that was the one time we had some sense of stability. He was the first male that actually took a vested interest in me and gave a shit, is what I say. So that was, and then of course his death just was too much for me. But also thinking about our Grandma and Grandpa Hesselwood going to their house. They always lived in the same place. We always don't walk on the front lawn.
But I felt out of place there.
Oh.
I felt like we didn't belong there.
Right. I didn't either.
Like we were just there because Grandma and Grandpa felt sorry for Mom and us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's the
But I
same
know
thing.
they loved us. I did
Yeah,
know.
but we
But
did
we
feel a
weren't
little
in their
different.
realm.
Right.
No, oh yeah, we just kind of floated in and out.
I felt dirty.
Yeah.
I felt because of where I was from. This
was
maybe
abnormal.
why Grandma Sonstabees, it was almost like there was a connection.
It was some normalcy.
She understood us because I knew what she was going through with her husband. So you kind of felt in place, but also felt something you didn't get at home.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's do a question. This kind of really goes on this. Whoever wants to start. What are some experiences, you want Cheri to start? She just pointed, they saw that. She pointed right at you. So what are some experiences, this will be really curious for me. What are some experiences from our upbringing, and only share what you're comfortable sharing, that impacted you the most?
Negative would be the sexual abuse. As a girl, I then, throughout my whole life, was searching for a man that would love me. But I was still getting guys who would not love me, wouldn't do it in a way that...
Yeah.
So it took, same thing. For me, it becoming a cop made me tougher and made me come to the point I'm not choosing that. But it also made me cold. Maybe. It wasn't until I met John that I
Was able to heal some.
you still have those things, but it you still carry it today.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you'll think of something, go, what
Yeah.
the heck did I think of that for?
Yeah.
And then you realize that's the little child that's still engraved.
Yeah.
But raising my kids though, I wanted something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that too. And sometimes as our kids, especially my daughters, were growing up, sometimes you overcompensate. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. And I think they turned out fine, but you're going by your experiences. And so you want to make sure 100% that nothing like that happens to them. You ain't going nowhere without nobody. And
I want to know who, where, and what.
But I'm going to have to say that we were surrounded by a lot of people that did care about us. It's just, for whatever reason in those days, that stuff wasn't out in the forefront.
No.
And
No.
it wasn't that it was accepted. It's just that you just didn't talk about it.
There weren't state agencies.
Because everybody now
yeah.
is like, oh my gosh, it's so much more prevalent. No. It was hidden. People are talking. And I think the worst memory I have is in the A-frame.
Yes.
And Dad decided to start going to her. So I have a conversation with her later. I say this, and I say, you just make sure if you're on your period, you don't let him do anything so you don't get pregnant. So, I mean, that is not a conversation a sister should have with her sister. Yeah, maybe with her boyfriend. But
we weren't even old enough. It wasn't a conversation we should know to have. You know.
Yeah.
But,
So.
Interesting. The A-frame was a place I remember witnessing Jerry hit Mom. I'll never forget that. For me, God, I think just some experiences from our upbringing that impacted me. Which one? Really, it's really hard. I don't know about you guys, but there's periods in my childhood I don't remember, and I think there's a protective factor in that.
I mean,
right?
I could not tell you any grade school or anything I went to growing up. I honestly don't even remember the houses. You guys tell me, and I'm like,
I remember
I don't know if it's because I moved away.
Blocks of time. I don't know, and then the times that I do, it's like, oh, that's you go, oh, that's odd. Why was that, and why did that happen? I remember a lot of the mom's struggles. Now looking back, I didn't know they were her, but I remember we were at the motel where Mom had a kitchenette and we each had our rooms. I remember the ambulance coming. Mom was in the fetal position, not eating, basically having a nervous breakdown. I remember that, and it just like, oh my gosh. So thank you for sharing that, you guys.
Getting fleas in our apartment.
Getting what?
Fleas.
Ew.
Sand fleas.
Oh, God.
Because we were going to the beach.
Yeah. It was good. This will be a little bit of a shift. And we got 2 more questions and then closing questions. So your hot seats won't be hot for much longer. So thinking about those experiences of our shared childhood experiences, different views, but the same childhood, how did those experiences influence the way you live your life today? How you show up in the world today? Maybe as a parent, as a grandparent, as a friend. I'm
not a good friend.
Oh, that's bullshit.
No, I don't mean it that way. I don't always let people in.
Is it you don't let people in or you're careful?
It could be that
it's
too.
Both, sure.
Because, I have this beautiful pool area and I'm like, well, it'd be great to have someone over. And then I think, I really don't know if I want them over, So it's not that I don't like them or whatever. It's like, it's just that little bubble. Like Abby my youngest talked about that one time at school. There was this boy that kept getting in her bubble and she couldn't stand it. But that's just her personality. But I think that's the same thing. I am an outgoing person. I feel I'm friendly, but I just don't let a lot of people that close for very long. It's always at a distance.
And has it always been that way for you?
Yeah. I mean, like high school, probably my closest friends, but that was just, I lived with them. So, you know what I mean? So.
So sidebar question, how many times were you sent away or did you move away from Mom?
When we moved to Arizona, it was during my end of middle school, high school years.
And where did you go?
I stayed in Casa Grande when Mom moved away.
Where? Back to Washington or?
Mom moved back to Washington.
Because Johnny got sick?
No, he wasn't sick at the time.
They just moved back. Okay.
And
So you stayed. Who'd you stay with?
I stayed with Carolyn at first and then Wynette. And halfway through my senior year is when I moved back to Washington.
Okay.
And that was devastating to me because I left all my friends from high school.
And was it because Mom said you had to come back?
No, it just, living with other people is sometimes difficult. Yeah. And I think they just got tired of someone else being there. And so I just moved back.
You came back where were we living? Do you remember where we were living when you had Johnny passed?
61st Street. No.
Yeah, right up the
61st
street.
Street.
My
Yeah,
house.
right
Oh.
up the street.
Oh, okay.
And that's when this little girl set me up.
Set you up.
Robert.
Oh, you did that?
It was actually from church. Someone knew someone that knew someone, and
Okay.
wanted to do something. I'm like,
Okay, so we have
But
Cheri.
I also helped you get away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the way that we were raised.
True fact.
So we're talking about husband number one from this one. All of our pickers were broken for a bit, so Rob was a real
Abusers
treat.
themselves.
Yeah. Rob.
Yeah.
Boy, he took me. I'll just share a snippet. I was a kid. I was 12, 13,
Mm-hmm.
and he took me to this guy's house. I don't know if I've ever shared this
Yeah, I
with you.
think you did.
And he was an Amway guy. I remember that.
Uh-huh.
And the guy took turns with us.
Well, the reason she finally left is I stayed the night to watch their baby so they could go out. They go out.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to bed. He says he's watching TV. Now, mind you, I'm asleep on the couch. He then starts trying to put his hands down my pants. And I'm like, I was proud of myself that I'm like, pushed him away and went and woke Tina up. Now, had it not been Tina, but Tina was my sister, she knew. So I knew she wouldn't look down on me for saying something.
Wow.
And that was, that was it.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So did you? And again, friends, remember, moving was our thing as kids. That's what we did. We moved, whether it was all over Tacoma to Ocean Shores, all over Ocean Shores. I know Ocean Shores is small, but we lived in multiple Arizona. We moved. That's what we did. So I'm just asking my sisters, how many times did you stay somewhere when Mom did one of her moves? How about you?
It was always with Judy.
Yep.
And at least 3 or 4 times. Wow. And one time I actually just went up to visit Judy. And when they brought us back to Ocean Shores,
We had moved.
the apartment was empty. I was like abandoned, and Judy couldn't get a hold of her. The phone was disconnected.
Yeah.
There wasn't
there wasn't cell phones.
No,
back then.
this is the late
So it was
70s, friends.
2 weeks later that she finally contacts and says, "Oh, we moved to Arizona."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Bob talks about when Grandpa Sounds-to-Be brought him back one time. Same thing. Mom had moved. And these moves when we moved weren't like,
Middle of the night.
Dad got a new job or Mom got it was eviction notices usually, or Mom running from an abuser or some chaos.
Yeah.
So I only remember, and I don't know why it was, but I stayed with Judy and Al for a little while. I went to Fawcett. I remember that. I don't know why though. Why who knows? Okay. Cheri, what are some of your experiences from our upbringing that impacted, how did those experiences influence the way you show up in life now?
The way I show up in life now, I'm a fighter. I keep fighting against
you do.
what I had growing up and not wanting it for my kids.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen, meaning one of my kids or 2 of my girls were abused by their stepfather. Not to the point that I was, but to the point it affected them a great deal. And again, the family on their stepdad's side was from the old-fashioned. Meaning
Don't talk about
they
it.
then blamed Al for saying anything, or that she was over, stretching, that it was her fault. She was a rebellious young girl, and then blame me. Yet it wasn't. It was because I brought my daughter to counseling because something was going on, and she told the counselor. Yet they feel because of my past that I put it on them to feel that they were being abused. So I didn't see it. But then again, I look back, and even my daughter said, "You did see it because you took me away, cut off the visitations until we could figure out what was going on," because there was a lot of arguments. But looking back now, I even know, the girls up the street, their best friends, would go over to visit, because I was divorced at the time. And they would even say, they just felt uncomfortable over there. And that made me go, well, why? And I wish I would have.
But I mean, kids are good at hiding. Your mind is good at hiding.
Pause. Grooming is a thing. The behavior of the adults is real. You know, all of us are survivors, and I'm the man that abused me the most was a deacon in a church and just a pillar of the community. They're really good at
friends.
Yeah. So yeah. But you are a fighter, sister. I know you struggle. We've all struggled, but you know, I share this as much as I can. That sign right there that says he believed he could, so he did is from you. You've always, both of you have, but you've always believed in me. And you know, I always say you and Vern or whoever made the decision, you together at the time, put your house up to get me out and get me a start in life. And I'm just one example of that. I went on ride-alongs with you when you were a cop, and I saw how you interacted with people. The humanness you brought to the table is pretty awesome. I just always remember you always carried stuffed animals in your car. You always did that. And so I imagine the child, because I can only imagine calls you went on where you saw firsthand what you experienced as a child, and bringing something like that little stuffed animal in your eyes with your healing voice. Like, wow. So you are a fighter, and you
Very
show up
kind and loving.
Yeah, most of the time.
Except to us.
Yeah. All right. Last question.
Oh boy.
We're shifting gears. What's something you believe about life today that you didn't always believe?
Well, I never believed that I would have a man that loves me 150%. I know my husband is 300 degrees different than anything I ever thought I deserved.
Yeah. Trav's pretty all right. We give him a lot of shit, and like we were talking about him and how, you know, laissez-faire, but I know his heart is like yours. Like you said, you know, we joke around because Travis, he works in construction, and so he has an apartment that's easier for him to work from. And like we joke around, like she's never has to worry he has to cheat on her because he wouldn't know what to do. But the reality is because he loves you whole. Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Sherry, what's something you believe about life today that you didn't always believe?
Kind of along the same line, that I never felt I was worth anything. But it took, like I said, the safety of Grandma's house, being locked in the closet, and when Tom brought me to church at 14 years old, I gave my heart to the Lord. I am loved, you know, but the world has people in it that will make you feel unloved. So you gotta. For me, I had to find it within myself, not within what's happened to me. And yeah, just as a child, I just felt this is the way life is for me.
Yeah, it was normal for us.
Yeah, I'm not worth anything more.
Yeah. I always appreciated your strong bond with Tom, Uncle Tom. You guys had a real strong bond. And for those that have read my book, it is the uncle that our mom married, but there's a whole story to it. But
well, he's the one. He knew about Jerry. I told him, and he believed me. Grandma Trickle never did.
She never did until the day she died.
Defended me with her
He
when
did.
the kids weren't allowed to go down.
He
there.
did.
He knew when me and Bob went to confront him, Jerry, and tell him I knew and try and get him to
own it.
that he did not take their sides. He was someone in my life that never.
I, years ago, had decided to send him a letter before he died.
Jerry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I knew I would have to heal. It's up
Nothing
to him
about
what
him.
he does.
Yeah.
I never heard back, which I never did, but I felt better. But then, first time we were bringing the girls here for a vacation, he was still alive. And I'm like, okay, I have this dilemma. Do I introduce them to my dad so they can at least know? So I was like back and forth. Well, it's easy to say the Lord answered my prayer because he passed away before we came.
Yeah.
So that was the Lord saying, no, they don't need to meet him.
Hey, I want to ask both of you, as women who are survivors of childhood sexual abuse and now mothers and grandmothers, if a young mom is out there listening right now, what advice would you give her to maybe have the balance? Like, you want your kids to be able to go out in the world and explore, but you also, because there are still lots of predators out there. What's your advice to a young mom of a child to be the best mom, to prevent it as best they can?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, it's so different because all kids are different. But I think it starts from a young age. They have to trust you to be able to kind of listen to what you're telling them. I mean, you don't want to scare them into thinking they can't go or do anything. But all we did was, if we didn't know the parents, you didn't go there.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean, hi, this is Sally and Jeff. No, we have to physically know the
Get
parents. Because it's easy to know the kids. So we always, anytime, would say, if they want to come here, that's fine. They can come here all they want until we know the parents. And there was probably 3 or 4 that we would let. But us and the girls, we always had a password.
Oh, good.
And if they didn't say the password, Mama was there. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Abby did it one time. She didn't. Her phone wasn't charged. She just went to the park with her friends. I said, "You okay?" No answer.
Didn't get anything.
I'm like, "You okay?" Next thing I know, there's a text from another phone. This is Abby's friend. Nope, I'm at the park.
Yeah.
I'm at the basketball court.
Yep.
Abby's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Let's go. We're going home."
Yeah.
Sure. She took her phone knowing it was dead.
Yeah.
That was it.
So having protective factors,
Yeah,
right?
protective factors, not being overbearing, but letting them know that it's just because you care. But there are consequences if they don't follow that.
Yeah.
And then eventually they get their own defensive mechanisms up and their heightened, knowledge of what's going on around them. And just talking to them, I think.
So I'm hearing a couple things. Building a relationship with your child where they feel safe talking to you, and also having boundaries with where they go and who they interact with. Cheri?
Yeah, and I agree with that. And like, I can look back and see, even with the boys, who's the man in their life. And that's really important. I mean, the man for girls gives them the feeling of individuality, their own, like you said, protective, but also the feeling that I don't need to have this man. So then they also don't accept things that don't
Less than.
feel appropriate.
Yeah.
Because it
Or
can be
feel like
within-
they have to stay.
Right, it can be within family, it can be a neighbor, it can be anybody. So if the man in their life is treating you in a certain way, then they're going to choose men that treat them in a certain way. So it's important, the man that you bring around your girls.
Oh, God, so important. Well, my own story is I was kind of on the same thing of what I learned with Mom. I was going to, but I remember thinking, man, what am I showing my son?
Right.
And it's important that we as the adults model the behavior we want our kids to have. I think you guys have done that pretty well. I know you judge yourself in different ways, but given our set of cards, the fact that we're all sitting here today with the lives we have, even with stuff, like we all got stuff, but oh my gosh, I've always admired each of you in your own way of parenting. I want you to know that. Do I agree with it all? And did I parent a little different? Sure. But, you did the best you did good, right? I remember your kids were always home. They had kids over there. I know you were mindful about who they spent time with. And while, even though I wasn't in Ohio, I kind of knew that. And I think that's huge given our past.
Yeah.
So, okay, here we go. Final 2 questions. So this is kind of, you can just maybe say this a different way, but if someone's listening to this in any way, what would you say to someone who's trying to build a better life now? Maybe they have a path like ours, which was crazy, or maybe they've had different struggles, drugs or alcohol, abusive relationships, whatever it is. What would you say to someone who's listening to this and they're trying to build a better life now? What would you say to them to give them some hope?
I would just tell them, you're way stronger than you think you are. Make sure you reach out to that one person that you feel you can say anything to, and have them be your companion. Have them in your sounding board. Like, hey, you think, because sometimes when we're in these situations, you make quick decisions instead of thinking, and that's usually what gets you off path. Just slow down, breathe, and don't make quick judgments.
That's
or decisions.
really true. I mean, I think about my own path. I had to stop reacting and start being proactive, right? Take a minute, think about it. Have, like you said, have someone that you trust talk to. I talk about your circle of influence, those 4 or 5 people you communicate regularly. I had to switch mine up, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. You can't keep doing the same thing you were doing. It's not going to change.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Sister?
For me, as far back as I can remember, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. But when I would do something and I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do, but it was a quick thing I was doing, I would start writing down how I felt.
Oh.
And just start writing down. And then I could look at it and go, why am I feeling that way? Why do I feel I need that? And writing down how I feel gets it out. Even if it's about my past, it gets it out. If I kept it in, then I'm still repeating a pattern. But yeah, because then whether getting it out to a friend, and for me, I was isolating myself. Don't isolate yourself, but make sure the group you're around is someone that you can trust to divulge how you're feeling.
And sometimes, like you said, changing your friends up. Make friends with where you want to be.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be just a little step up.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a huge jump right at once. Just a little step up to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Hang out with that person.
Yeah, you talking about journaling is like I've got literally decades worth of journals that helped me, like you're talking about. Just write down how that makes you feel. Doesn't mean you have to change it in that moment, but because I started journaling, I started seeing patterns in my relationships and in the decisions I was making that helped me to go, oh wow, no, I need to make some changes. So,
or like you said before, making quick emotional decisions. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'll decide tomorrow. Go home and write down what you were gonna do.
Oh yeah.
And then go, where is that gonna get me? And that helped me a lot. Change a lot of decisions.
This isn't a hit on both Stephanies I was with, but I was with 2 Stephanies, and it was actually through journaling when I was with Stephanie number 2 that I had a journal. It's in my journal over there, and I was reflecting back to decades earlier. It was a decade-ish or more earlier, and I had this journal where I was like, oh, Stephanie this and Stephanie that, and then I had the current Stephanie this, and it was like, I'm looking at them. I'm pointing out. And it was an aha moment for me, kind of like you guys have been talking about, where I had to, you know what? I'm repeating the same thing again and again that I learned, but I can make a conscious decision to make a change.
And you can't see that until you start evaluating.
Yeah.
And you can talk to counselors, which is great. But a good counselor is going to be having you evaluate yourself.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay. This is dangerous, friends, but I'm going to do it anyway. What's something you've always wanted to ask me? Oh, God.
Wow.
If there's ever a time when I'm worried, it's now.
I really don't have anything. I don't give a shit. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
No, but I did want to ask
And she gets up and walks out.
I did want to ask something about you. So, in all your training, what do you think the reason is that her and I, did not reach out to drugs and alcohol? Yeah, I drink, but I'm not an alcoholic. And you and Bobby were the 2 that had the issues. So, what do you think would be the difference in that?
Different coping mechanisms used to cope with our past, environment, access. The reality is addiction doesn't care.
Right.
right? Like here we are. We all four had the same history. You two didn't. Me and Bob did.
But we did. We had an addiction to men.
That's
Looking
that's what I was saying.
a better
Different
dad.
coping mechanisms.
And
Yeah.
that's an addiction that caused me to
Yeah.
put my body in ways I didn't feel
Yeah.
comfortable, I didn't like, but trying to find. So that was our addiction.
And Cheri said something that I've struggled with myself, never feeling good enough, never feeling drugs were, and the sexual abuse. You know, for me, the drugs were that coping mechanism.
For me, that's the friendship thing.
Ah.
If they really knew who I am or
They
what
wouldn't
I've
like
been
me.
through,
Yeah.
why would they want to be my friend?
Yeah.
And to have a good friend, they got to know all of you.
They got to know it all.
So to divulge that,
Yeah. Yeah, and you said something earlier that I didn't want to be dismissive because I've really forced myself to try to bring more people in. I have that same wall, that trust, and you know what do they really want?
Right.
You know what's going on, and it's been a difficult thing to really push myself. Like we do Monday night dinners. You've been here. We've had, bring people in to kind of bring that wall down. Okay, so you asked me. Good. What do you got? Oh boy.
I guess, do you remember us me bringing you in the closet of the A-frame and we would hide there and play? When there was meetings going on downstairs.
No.
Yeah, I often wondered how he felt as a child.
Yeah, no, I honestly, like, I remember Ocean Shores. I remember Bruno. I remember walking around. The only time the A-frame is when I came out, there was a landing or something, and it was middle of the night, and Jerry hit Mom. Interesting, though, that I don't remember that.
See, I could always hear when he'd come home, but they'd start arguing, so I'd say, David, come on, let's go play. And we'd go in the little closet thing and just play cars.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like closets all along? Like
it was like a long attic
Yeah.
type thing or whatever.
Yeah, no, like I just, and it's interesting, I have all these memories. I have a lot of memories of us in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe I spent more time with Bob. I remember him being really vicious with you. I don't have a lot of memories of us. We lived in Parkland, in Spanaway at the Roy Y with Johnny in that trailer. I remember you guys used to dress me up or something. I kind of remember, maybe, but it's interesting. I don't remember that.
Yeah. And so that's the thing is, I remember us together vaguely.
Yeah.
But what I do remember is together there was like this bubble when we were together. Yeah. So maybe it's so deep down because the other negative parts are so stronger. Yeah. But it's because me and Tina.
People ask about childhood, and I'm like, well, I remember Bobby'd beat on me.
Yeah.
I'd beat on Cheri. We'd all beat on David.
Yeah. I got blamed for everything. Yeah, I remember going Ocean Shores to the ShopRite or whatever it was called, and I had that big jacket, and they'd send me in, and they had Bob or someone had ripped out the liner, and I'd steal all this candy, and I'd bring it home to my great siblings, and they would take it all. I wouldn't get anything, and if someone got caught, it was me. Yeah.
But like I also remember times when Mom and Dad wouldn't be home. And we'd be peeling potatoes and eating them raw because that would be all we had.
I remember
the Jell-O packets.
Yeah.
So we could just
mustard and ketchup sandwiches. Yeah. What we spent a lot of time alone, and I remember roaming around.
Nighttime.
Ocean Shores.
We just did whatever we wanted.
Yeah. So did we go to bed? Like how? Because I don't.
Eventually we would, but
there was no one.
Nobody.
Because Bob would go do his thing. So what would you guys do?
We'd hang. Well, even you. We'd hang at the bowling alley and that.
We'd cook food in our little easy basin.
Yeah, when we lived it there.
Actual food.
Yes, until it burned, started caught on fire.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, this has been good. Okay, we did it. This